The Philippines was under Spanish rule for more than 300 years. But why isn't Spanish widely spoken there? I mean, in Latin America, Spain tried really hard to make everyone speak Spanish. But in the Philippines, not so much. And there are two main reasons for that. First, unlike in Latin America, the Spanish didn't try to force their language on the Filipinos. When the Spanish started to arrive in the 16th century, they had a different strategy. They used the local languages to convert people to Catholicism, and then they settled in small numbers. So the language remained an elite one, spoken mainly by the wealthy and the educated. Then in the 1800s, the United States took over the Philippines, and they started to push English instead. By 1898, the Spanish were gone, and the Americans were in control. They quickly replaced Spanish with English in schools, and within just one generation, Spanish almost completely disappeared from everyday life in the Philippines. There are two important takeaways from this. One is that language is super important. If the Spanish had pushed their language harder in the Philippines, it might be the dominant language today. It's because they didn't. It's not. And that's crazy given how much power and wealth Spain had at the time. The second takeaway is that colonialism isn't always what we think it is. We often think of colonizers as outsiders who come in and change everything. That's true in many cases. But in the Philippines, the story is a little different. The Spanish didn't just rule the country, they also adapted to local customs and languages. And in the end, it didn't really work out for them. So why did the Spanish rule for so long if they couldn't even get the locals to speak their language? That's a complicated question. There are lots of theories about why the Spanish didn't push harder to make everyone speak Spanish. Some historians say it was simply because the Philippines was too far away to effectively control. Others say the Spanish didn't want to provoke the Filipinos, who were already resistant to their rule. Still, others argue that the Spanish were actually pretty happy with the situation because it allowed them to maintain a racial hierarchy. Whatever the reason, the fact remains that after more than 300 years of Spanish rule, only a small percentage of Filipinos could speak Spanish. If you want to better understand global politics, follow along for more.